Spider-Man! Hey, Spider-Man! I'm gonna swing the cranes over for ya! What's up, guys? Jared here again, and yes! Spider-Man Homecoming! Hey, Spider-Man! Talk about peak summer movies. There's so much to unpack with this movie, so I'm just gonna swing right into it. So a lot of people still think that this is the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Oh, that Andrew Garfield's looking very young now. Nope. After The Amazing Spider-Man 2 bombed critically, Sony decided to shut it down and reboot it like any failing franchise. So now our Spider-Man is Tom Holland, who first appeared in Captain America Civil War. Kinda confusing for non-hardcore fans because we've had 3 different Spider-Man in the last 10 years. 3 different Spider-Man? There's been more Spider-Man in the last 10 years than I've had dates. So let me set the scene quick. This movie takes place right after Civil War. Peter gets to keep his new Stark-invented suit, and that's about it. He thinks that the Avengers will need him on a weekly basis, so he's constantly by his phone like a desperate person waiting for a second date. But months go by. He's a high school student with these amazing powers and stories, but he can't tell anyone. He slugs through the school day, excited for 3:30 so he can be Spider-Man. This movie was definitely a fresh take on the Spider-Man and Peter Parker characters. For starters, they ditched the whole, oh no, I was bit by a spider! Now I'm gonna have a fever dream! A CGI sequence of micro spiders biting my DNA! And me waking up with powers! And also the whole Uncle Ben's death. How many times did we have to see that poor man die? Instead, Spider-Man's somewhat been established in his neighborhood. I did like that he was somewhat new to his powers. His fighting style was somewhat sloppy and he acted like a teenager, showing off and thinking he could stop anything in his way. It was an origin story, but without showing us the same things over and over again. Now, the Spider-Man parts were fantastic, don't get me wrong, but I think I enjoyed the Peter Parker sequences even more. Peter Parker trying to be a normal kid in high school, dealing with high school politics and drama. He has Spanish quizzes, typical bully trouble, and crushes on the senior girl. Tom Holland was a very endearing Peter Parker. All of his interactions with friends and teachers were spot on for a high schooler. Speaking of friends, the Zendaya character was one of my favorite in the movie. She played the sarcastic loser, I don't care what you think, and I'm randomly in this room making fun of people with dry humor character. She was fantastic and I hope to see more of her in the sequel. However, on the other hand, Peter's friend Ned, played by Jacob Batalon, did not do it for me. He just came off as the annoying, we need to be popular friend. I know that it was his character, but it just didn't work. Michael Keaton playing Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture, was a great addition to the Marvel villain roster. I felt like he wasn't just a throwaway villain like some of the prior villains. He had motives and he had a family to support. He was a working class citizen whose business was taken from him, so he's just trying to make a buck. It was a highly illegal buck, but hey, the guy was working. One big negative around this film was the marketing and promotions. The best way to see this film would be to watch the first trailer, and that's it. Stop watching. All of the commercials and trailers out right now show way too much. Roughly a fourth of the film if you can piece it all together. In my opinion, it ruined a lot of the big set pieces, plot points, and jokes. Don't get me wrong, this movie was awesome and it still had some surprises, but a lot, including all of the Iron Man scenes, have already been shown. Overall, I thought Spider-Man Homecoming was a fresh take on a tired character. Tom Holland brings the endearing, boyish charm to Peter Parker, while also being your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I have high hopes for what they're setting up in the Spideyverse, and also his upcoming stuff in Infinity War. Come on, symbiote suit! Definitely go out and see this movie as soon as possible. Do it! Heck, see it twice, maybe 3 times. Just like any other Marvel movie, stay till the very end. What did you think of Spider-Man Homecoming? Was it the web-slinging Marvel superhero movie of the summer? Or does Spider-Man squash like a bug against the windshield? I want to hear about it in the comments down below. As always, you can find me on the social medias at Jared Buckendahl on both Twitter and Instagram, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, I'll see you later.